All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule impeccably well. Shalom to the hopeful elect, pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. This is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch. This is going to be an in-transit edition video. Lord willing, it be edifying unto you brothers out there and a few sisters listening and learning. Now, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, which is funny because before I pressed the record button, I knew something had happened on the road, but I didn't know how serious it was. You basically had a huge accident on the A406, out here in London, and that's why you're seeing that pileup on the right hand side. It looked like it was very, very serious. You might have even had a few deaths because the carnage of the vehicle was it was squashed. It was pretty much squashed into half of its size. All right, so that's a very serious accident. And hey, as the scriptures say, I believe it's in Zephaniah, if I'm not mistaken. It might be Zechariah, Zephaniah or Zechariah. It basically mentions that the judgment, the Lord brings his judgment every morning. Every morning does Yahweh Shem Yahushai judgment going forth. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, so you've continually got spirits ascending and descending, from the spiritual realm, 24 hours, 365. People die, every single day, and you got new life, that springs forth, every single day. It's a constant flow of spirits, going to and fro, and that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai's judgment, man. And as the scriptures say, whoever perish, being innocent, the issues of death belongeth unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. So the Lord controls life and death, man. All right. Oh, and another scripture that just popped into my mind is no man have the power over the spirit to retain the spirit. All right. You don't have the power. If someone gets cured, all right, that's all because of the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's if someone dies, it's the same thing. It all goes back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now, if you take herbs in order to try and cure an ailment, all right, without prayer, the Lord could have it where them herbs don't work. All right, and I've experienced that many times. Sometimes, you be taking the herbs and, it's not doing what it's meant to do, but sometimes you don't even take the herbs, but you can pray and then you can get healed without the herbs. It's just, it all goes back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Sometimes, there's particular judgment that you just have to go through. Sometimes there's particular things that, you just have to go through, for a season. Or sometimes it's just your lot, to have a particular ailment until Yahweh Shem Yahushai sees it fit that ailment, be removed from you. But that's ultimately why, we want new bodies. All right, we want new bodies, man. The scriptures speak about, in the book of Corinthians, in the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed. All right, and this corruptible shall put on incorruptible. All right, we're going to be immortal beings. Those of us who are Israelites, Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, ultimately, we are going to be immortal beings in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and that's why we're waiting for our change to come. Like Job said, we're waiting for our change to come, man. We want to, step out of these vile, corruptible, death-ridden bodies, and we want to step into those immortal bodies where we're going to be able to please Yahweh Shem Yahushai in perfect harmony. Okay, because right now, the Lord has been, provoked to anger. Okay, for us going against him and going against the Lord's statutes and commandments. All right, but in these new bodies and with that perfect mind, all right, we're going to be able to perfectly please Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in every single way. All right, in every single way, we're going to be able to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Okay, and that's what, you know, that's what we long for. We long for the ability to please our power, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in a perfected state. All right, because in these bodies, you know, these bodies are subject to sin. You know, these bodies are subject to going off, and they're subject to lust, you know, the lust of the flesh. And, you know, you have to constantly tame, you know, this fleshly body, all right, and constantly, you know, survey yourself to make sure that, you know, to the best of your ability, that you're doing the right thing, all right? But in the kingdom, you know, that's going to be natural to us. Doing the right thing is going to be natural. Doing the right thing is going to be built into our spirit, okay? Because the scriptures say the Lord is going to get rid of the stony heart, and he's going to replace it with a fleshly heart, man. You know, so we're going to have that perfect spirit within us that's going to be impossible to go off. It's going to be impossible to provoke Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to wrath, okay? The only thing we're going to be built to do is righteousness, okay? Every decision that we make is going to be the right decision. You know how, like, you be in this kingdom and you got to really, you know, ponder on your thoughts and ponder about intents and, you know, things that's happening around you, and, you know, you got to ponder whether you made the right decision, okay, with a particular matter or with a particular judgment. But it's not going to be like that in the kingdom, all right? Because, Lord willing, you know, as the elect, we're going to be judging all the time, all right? Because we're going to be judging all the heathen nations. So we're going to be perfect. We're not going to be casting judgments that we're going to have to double think or think to ourselves, man, I wonder if I made the right decision on that, man. You know? That's not going to be, it's not going to be so in the kingdom. We're going to just have it. We're going to be, you know, built in. Everything's going to be built into us. Okay? We're not going to be subject to the flesh. We're not going to be subject to lust. Okay? We're not going to be subject, you know, to the lust of the flesh, you know, like unhealthy lust. Okay? We're not going to be subject to destroying ourselves, you know, bad habits, so on and so forth. Everything that we do is going to benefit us, and it's going to benefit everyone around us. Okay? We're not going to be self-harming, all right? Everything that we do is going to be perfect and is going to be acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Kodash, and that's what we're waiting for, man. All right? Because in this kingdom, anything can happen to you, man. It's only the Lord, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that's keeping us alive, and he's preserving us in these last days, man. Okay? But you know, we're in the flesh. We're subject to the elements. We're subject to, you know, things happening to us. All right? You can get in car crashes, like you just saw earlier. I've been in many car crashes, man. You know, modern day shipwrecks. You know, I've been in many shipwrecks and car crashes. You know, people have crashed into me. All right, but you know, the Lord has delivered me, you know, from all of those situations. Kahala Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Kodash, and that's why it's so important, you know, to always pray, you know, before you head out on the road, especially, man, because the road is a dangerous place, man. All right, the road is a very dangerous place. You got these huge, you know, metal objects that's moving 60, 70, 80, 90 miles per hour on the road. Then when they collide, you know, you got your flesh and your bone structure, you know, it's a goner. You know, there's been some crazy accidents where people just, you know, you can be decapitated, you know, all kinds of, you know, manner of things can happen to you in Esau's kingdom, man. All right, that's why it's very, very important to arm yourself with prayer. You know, prayer is our defense. All right, prayer is our defense, and prayer is also our offense, you know, in Esau's kingdom. It's very important. Now, sometimes you might forget, you know, you might forget to throw up a prayer, but hey, pray more. Pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that you remember to pray more, you know, because it's very important. The scriptures say to pray without ceasing. You know, so we're supposed to pray without ceasing. Every moment you remember, you know, send up prayers unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Sometimes it can be verbally, you know, you say it out of your mouth, or sometimes it can just be in your mind, you know, because the Lord, you know, he hears and sees everything, man. So everything is being surveyed. So you can just send up prayers, you know, while you're driving, you know, while you're, you know, doing whatever you're doing at any given point. Because really, you know, our mind is constantly, you know, shrouded in the memory and in the presence of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, since I've come into this truth, I can honestly say there's not one day all right, in all of these years that I haven't been, you know, thinking about Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, or thinking about his power, or thinking about the kingdom, or thinking, you know, whether, you know, I'm right in the spirit, or, you know, whether I'm doing right. You know, all of these thoughts come to your mind every single day. You know, not a day goes by where you're just, you know, fully in the world, you know, immersed in the ways of this world, man. It just doesn't happen. You know, this truth takes over your life. It takes over your thoughts. It takes over your whole routine, because this is a way of life. You know, this ain't no, for us, this ain't no, it ain't no phase. All right, this is all we got. You know, if I didn't have the truth, you know, I wouldn't have anything. And that goes for all of us, man. You know, we wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for this truth. Well, I mean, what else you going to be thinking about, man? Getting a mortgage, you know, owning property, all right, your 5-year plans, you know, in a kingdom that's about to be destroyed. All right, that doesn't make any sense. Why invest in something that surely is going to be destroyed in these latter days, man? It doesn't make any sense. You gotta invest in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, you gotta trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because that's a sure thing. All right, this kingdom is not a sure thing. This kingdom is going to get destroyed, and furthermore, the heads of this kingdom are wicked, and they're going to be destroyed, man. All right, the Lord is going to dethrone the wicked, and he's going to crown the elect, man. That's what's going to happen. All right, those that stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so there's a new regime coming in, man. So don't invest in something that's about to be destroyed. It's not worth it. All right, this kingdom is a complete joke, man. All right, you got food shortages, which is another thing. You know, yesterday I was doing it's lucky I'm going into a lot of, you know, different topics, but you know, it's the spirit, you know, because there's a lot going on. But I was basically doing some shopping yesterday, you know, for my mother, you know, buying her a few things and that, and there was a lot of gaps in the supermarket, man. All right, there was a lot of gaps in the supermarket. And as we know, over here in the UK, there's already an egg shortage. So it's very hard, you know, to get your hands on eggs, you know, especially in particular superstores. All right. And pretty much there was only like 3 trays of eggs left. All right. And they weren't even like the normal ones. They were like the premium ones. So they were very expensive. All right. They were very, very expensive because they were premium eggs. But that's what, you know, everyone was buying, because that's all that was left. All right, and everyone was you know, scavenging for these eggs, and you know, some of them you would open it and they were broken, you know, because everyone was, you know, trying to, you know, get to these eggs before they finish. But you know, the spirit happened when I was managed to get a few, you know, that were left, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. You know, oil, you know, sunflower oil was like £3 a liter, you know, which is more than double of what it used to be. All right, so prices are going up. You know, there's major gaps. A lot of things that, you know, I had on the list to buy, you know, they weren't there. All right, so I was like, hey, you know, this keeps happening. Every once in a while, you go to a superstore and then they'll just have, you know, just pure gaps in the shop, man. All right, so we're getting to that time, and you know, the hearts of many is going to wax cold, like it tells us in Matthew 24, man, because people start changing when there's shortages. All right, people get more ruthless. All right, people are willing to do things, you know, outside of their character when they understand that, you know, there's a shortage of food. All right, because they want to buy food for their household. You know, you got people with, you know, families that they got to look after. All right, they got children. Okay, wife and children. So people get ruthless. All right, and they come out of character, and they're willing to do things that they wouldn't usually do to ensure that they get food. And that's why, you know, 2 Esdras 15, you know, also goes into that, man. How people are going to, you know, turn against their neighbors, you know, for the want of bread, and things are going to get violent. You see, people right now, you know, they don't really fully understand how serious things are really going to get. A lot of people are still taking it for a joke, because you got, you know, little bursts where, you know, things will get, you know, kind of, you know, real serious. But then it seems like, you know, things start going back to normal again. And when things start going back to normal, well, when they perceive it as going back to normal, that's when, you know, people start calming down and thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe it's not going to get that serious. No, the time's going to come where it's going to get to that peak time, and it's going to stay like that. And it's going to get worse day on day, week on week, and month on month. That time is coming real soon. Okay? Because they're not really telling people, you know, how bad it really is. Because remember, Esau uses his media to communicate to the sheep, all right, to sheeple. And he's not telling you at the moment how bad things really are, man. Okay, that's why when you see, you know, these food shortages and, you know, stuff of that nature, people only panic when Esau tells you to panic. And that's what happened, you know, in the last, you know, L-downs and shortages, man. People only panicked when it was made official on the news that, okay, this is a crisis. Then people start losing their minds, man. All right, but they wait for Esau to tell them that there's a problem before they even monitor and see that there's a problem before, you know, Esau tells you. All right, and that's how you know that, you know, that TV and Esau's, you know, portal of, you know, giving information, it's all witchcraft, man. All right, because there can be food shortages and people just not panicking because Esau hasn't told them to panic yet. All right, that's how much control these devils have over the people, man. All right, so I'm gonna cut it off there. You know, Lord willing, this video is edifying unto you brothers out there, a few sisters listening and learning, you know. And until next time, you know, I'll say shalom.